All right. Now we have to save these as STLs and send it to our printer to make sure that they fit before we proceed with our design. So I'm going to go save and then save as new. I want to save to my PC. And then, yeah, make a folder called STL. And then I like making a folder just for the date. And then I'll change this to STL. And then if this is your first time making an STL in the software, you have to modify your settings. So you click options, and then it might be in coarse or fine. I make mine custom and then sort of turn these up a bunch. This is going to increase the file size and make it slower to save, but your resolution or like how detailed your parts are going to be really high. So you can copy my settings if you want. You can press OK, and then you don't have to do it again after you do this. And then, so right now I only have my bolts shown. So I'm going to call this bolts. Save that, and it'll take a second here, and then you just press yes, and then I'll hide the bolt and then show the nut, and then save the nuts to the same spot, call it nut. Okay, so we have our parts saved. Let's print these out and make sure everything fits before we include this in the rest of our dragon design. So you could use a slicer of your choice. I'm going to use Kira, and I'll leave a link for Kira down below. And also post up like the printer settings that I use, or I'll have a video that goes over that. But once you have your STLs ready to go, once you've saved out your STLs, you're gonna drag them into your slicer. And then the important thing here is just to like orient them however you want. Well, not however you want. There should be a correct way to do it, which is the thread should be facing upwards. So I'm going to orient this and click select face to align to build plate. I'll click this face. And for the nut, I'll click this face. So they're both facing upwards. And then these are like, it's like pretty an intense shape with overhang, but you can print these without support. So I'm going to put a support blocker. So if you press this button on the bottom of this left menu, this like a little transparent box comes up, and anywhere you overlay that to your parts, it'll tell the software to not include support in your design. So just throw one of these guys on, and then if you click it, and you could scale it just like any other normal part, and I just make it cover my whole part, and then I press slice. This should be a pretty quick print. Mine says 40 minutes. But yeah, it might be a little confusing at first to understand like why you can print this without support. But if you take it just at like, if you look at all the layers, right, like it's slowly building up this spiral sort of staircase design. So it's not like it's going like up and over and there's like this weird 90-degree overhang angle. Like you're slowly building up this sort of spiral staircase. And because of that, it's like taking gradual steps and there's not too much overhang between each layer, and it's able to complete on its own. So yeah, let's print that out and make sure everything fits, and I'll see you in the next part. All right, so I just printed out my nut and my bolt. Let's see if I go here, just show you guys, this is my nut and this is my bolt, and it's not too tight, not too loose, and I can tighten it all the way down. So I sort of found the perfect amount of clearance between the nut and the bolt to have it smoothly thread on to each other. Once again, if whatever you print out, you're not happy with it, if you think it's too tight or too loose, we're going to go back to here and modify this move face. So if it's too tight, you're going to need, let me open up a section view to show you guys. If it's too tight, you're going to need to create more space by increasing this move. If it's too tight, you're going to need to be able to create more space by increasing this move face. If it's too loose for your liking, then you can decrease the move face a little bit. But this is going to be different for every printer. But for most people, I'm willing to guess that 0.3 is probably going to give you like a pretty successful fastener. All right, so I'll see you in the next part where we're going to include this into our design now.